Hey foodies, on this episode we are talking all things beauty with beauty educator Ty Cooper. Are you a put together tomboy? Are you a beauty professional who is having issues getting your license? We're going to talk about all those things and more on today's episode of There's Food in the House.
Ooh, if it's lit, then I'm signing up. I just knock them down, Adrian can line them up. If you search for real talk, then you're finding us. Thanks for reminding us, ain't no outshining us, it's different. I know you feeling something missing. Them shows only talk, they don't listen. You need something warm, like a hot meal from the south. Like a summer rain in a drought. Some real talk that can make a nigga proud. Thoughts out loud, we ain't doing it for the clout. That food for the soul, gotta take a different route. You don't need nothing fast, we got food at the house. I'm just saying though, we got food at the house. Yeah, we got food at the house.
Hello. It is Adrian, your PR diva here, and we are coming to you live from There's Food in the House. You know, this is the podcast where you don't have to go ask anybody else for anything or look for anything else because we have food in the house. And today in the house, we have beauty expert, editor, coordinator, speaker, host, educator. And on top of all of that, she is also an HR business consultant, Miss Ty Cooper. Welcome to There's Food in the House.
Hey, y'all! That was such a nice introduction.
Well, listen, you are all of those things and more. And as this conversation goes on, y'all are going to realize this is my great Southern Belle here. She is a wonderful woman of everything that she had.
Aww.
And I just wanted to have this conversation, talk to you, share you with our listeners so we can find out more about Ty. So give us your introduction. I did mine, and now you can give yours.
I think you pretty much covered it. It was so nice, and I appreciate it. Thank you for welcoming me to your house, into your house.
Yes.
Now I'm just waiting on the food, Adrian. Like
I know.
That's okay. I got my cup of tea, so I'm good.
Okay.
So, what you stated, I am a beauty expert, a licensed esthetician and makeup artist. I love things in beauty and just empowering and making sure that those that are in the beauty industry, you know, get the education and support needed like I did coming up in the industry. So, I mean, that's pretty much all to me.
So when you were coming up, before you even got into the industry, did you already know that makeup and fashion and beauty tips and tea parties and then even HR, because, you know, we want to talk about that too. But did you know that makeup was going to be your thing?
Okay, so it's funny you asked that, and I typically don't get asked that question. So, but I'm like,
see, throw the curveball.
Right, I gotta tell the truth, shame the devil. So,
yes.
So, like you said previously, I am a Southern Belle. So, keeping that in mind, no, I didn't even know what a makeup artist was.
Okay.
Honestly, the only thing I knew about was like being a hairstylist, a cosmetologist, because my sister, one of my sisters, she had her own salon when I was a younger girl, and I was used to help her in the salon and stuff like that. And it was so funny because it was very organic how I kind of embarked upon the makeup artistry piece, because I was in her salon one day, and, you know, I would help sweep up hair or shampoo hairs, you know, anything like that. And one day this lady came into her salon and she wanted her eyebrows done. Okay. And she also wanted lashes. Well, I was the girl that would basically correct people's makeup. Even when I was in college, like I've always correct people's makeup or, you know, did eyebrows, but I never considered myself a makeup artist. It was more so like a hustle. And I would just look at my sister's makeup and stuff and be like, y'all need to change that, because I was a tomboy. So
okay, really?
I was like, change. I was like, ugh. And I have OCD, like I'm a perfectionist. So I look at everything and try and, you know, build upon it. So anyways, this lady came into the salon and she was like, oh my God, Ty, I can't do her lashes, and she want her eyebrows arched. Like, I cannot do that. You got to do it. And I was like, I'm not licensed. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna touch this blade. And she was like, just do it. She was like, I'll tell her that you do a really good job. However, you're my sister, blah, blah, blah. So the lady was like, okay. It ended up, and I'm really fast at whatever it is I'm typically doing, but just in eyebrows and like lashes and makeup and stuff, I'm really fast, and that's how I'm known for too. But anyways, I did her eyebrows and her lashes in like 3 minutes, and she was like,
okay.
oh my God. And I have like really, really small hands too, so I can get in there like real fast.
Okay.
And she ended up being this huge person in the beauty industry that was in connection with like all these huge brands in the beauty world, and just overall like hair, makeup. Like she dealt with a lot of big international brands, and she looked at me afterwards because she was like going to like this concert, and she was like, are you a makeup artist? And I was like, no, ma'am, what's that? And she was like, no, you're a makeup artist. And she was like, your sister told me you weren't trained. And I was like, no. And she was like, no, you need to really, really consider this. And that person ended up being my mentor. And I've traveled the world with her and worked with a lot of companies. And she kind of spearheaded me and led me into going to get my license and stuff like that. So it was very organic, and still to this day, I love doing it.
That is awesome. Wow. And, so you just have to walk into it sometimes. I know it doesn't happen and it can't happen, but if it's for you, sometimes it'll be standing right in front of you.
Absolutely. And the key to that is not rejecting it, because we all have different gifts, but sometimes, like you said, you got to like lean into it. You got to step into it and just allow God to take over. Because I never thought that my path would lead me into beauty, because I don't even like wearing makeup now. But, like I said, I'm a tomboy. So I don't necessarily like it, but it's a talent that has kind of matriculated over into me being an educator, a speaker, and all these other amazing things that I've been blessed to do.
That is so. I would have never taken you for tomboy. Like I tomboy written on you any place.
Now, Adrian, you usually see me out, so
Oh, okay.
I'm my own walking billboard. So like,
you
I have it together when I'm out.
And that's so funny, because that's what I was getting ready to ask you. I wanted to ask you. So for those women who are still in their tomboy phase, or they just embrace that part of them, like I'm a tomboy, so I don't feel like I need to do extra, or I just don't want to do extra. What are some tips that you can give them, or what advice do you give women who still are more tomboyish than not in terms of beauty, and not necessarily just makeup, but any beauty tips or trends or anything that they can do?
Yeah, I would just tell people to just be themselves. Like at the end of the day, if you don't want to wear makeup, don't wear it. Just be yourself. Or even if it's just a little bit, I sometimes like to push the button, because everything I do on my clients, I will not do on myself. Because I really try and make sure my clients, they get what they want, and I go above and beyond when I do that. But for myself, sometimes I'll try a little bit, but other days, like I can probably count on 2 hands and probably a quarter how many times I do my makeup, to be honest. Like if I'm going out, then I'll do my makeup. I want to get dolled up, but at the end of the day, just be you, be yourself. You don't have to get dolled down. But I did, my mentor, she pretty much ingrained into me that when you are in the beauty industry, it's very important when you're starting out and also trying to sustain your business, if you looking like, who did and why. So
right.
that was kind of installed and ingrained to me. Like, Ty, if you want to attract a certain type of client, or you want to be seen professional in this industry, you can still be that tomboy. However, you need to be that put together tomboy. If that makes sense. So,
put together tomboy. I love it. And so speaking of, just all of these are good transitions and good segues into other questions, because, right now we're in the house. This interview is happening during quarantine, not really going anywhere. So what tricks and tips and anything that you would tell people? I mean, because even though we aren't going out, I've read and I posted that sometimes it's good to still just get up, get dressed, even put on some makeup if you have makeup in your house, or just really do some things so you don't just get caught in that rut and just not being put together. So what do you think about that?
I love that you said that, because a lot of the times when you're in isolation, like a lot of us are right now being quarantined, that also leads to other things like depression and stuff like that. So I think it's very important that we do things like that. And this is a time for us all to reflect. So what I would like to share with you is what I call my quarantine beauty tips. Like quarantine beauty 101. You know,
all right.
So,
let me grab an ink pen.
I get a lot of questions and DMs and a lot of people contacting me just because of the field that I am in. And they'll say, Ty, you know, I'm trying to do this face this, or I'm trying to do this makeup and I'm at home. Can you help me, type of thing? And so I thought about it and I was like, I need to put something together to kind of hit some points to help people at home. And so back to your point of when you are quarantined and, you know, you want to make sure you still kind of keep it together. So in the mindset of keeping it together, I had kind of arranged some things, you know, help people through this process. And in general, when you're quarantined, you're inside. So think about it as us also going inside of ourselves and taking care of ourselves, not just externally, but also internally. And doing so and incorporating some of the things that we do in beauty, for instance, like your everyday skincare routine, you know, your morning and evening skincare. Hopefully everybody wakes up and brush their teeth, okay?
Right? Right. Hopefully.
And wash, what they say, and wash your face.
Yes.
But in general, whenever you washing your face, and as an expert, I would have to say cleanse. So whenever you know, start that your skincare regimen, take time, be patient with yourself, give yourself time to, whenever you're using that cleanser or that exfoliant or, you know, that mask, take time. Typically, like every day we would rush through that, right? Like we would just go ahead and slap that cleanser on and go. You know,
to try to get out the door.
You try to get out the door. But like now, we got time, Linda. So, you know, you just want to make sure whenever you're doing every single thing, whether it's the cleanser, exfoliant, toner, or moisturizer, take time. Just count if you want to, or, you know, take 1 minute whenever you're utilizing that cleanser. Go ahead and massage it inside of your skin in a circular motion upward. This is the time to pretty much, like I said, be patient with yourself and cleanse your skin. And, you know, just take time whenever you're using every single product, because if you are just slapping it on a day-to-day basis, you're really not getting the benefits that was placed inside of that product for you to get. So for instance, if you're using the cleanser, go ahead and take a minute and massage it in your skin, cheeks. Please don't ever forget about your neck or your décolleté, which is your chest area. So, you know, just go ahead and do that at the, you know, and whenever you're done, if you have more product, use it on the back of your hand. The most that we'll see whenever we do start aging, the aging signs will come on your neck, your décolleté, and also the back of your hands. So concentrating on things like that, taking that time to actually look and feel and touch and just massage the products in your skin, it goes a very long way, because we can't also forget that we need to shed that winter skin off. Just because you're in the house does not mean that the seasons have not changed and your body and your skin is not experiencing that change. It is. So whenever, after you're using the cleanser, go ahead and get an exfoliant based on your skin type and slough off that dead skin that is on your face, you know, so you can get down to the epidermis to reveal that new skin. And then try some face masks, you know, spend 30 minutes just with the face mask on to, you know, rejuvenate and revitalize your skin, and spray it with some refreshing like rose petal water. Put it in the refrigerator so that way when you use it, it just gives you like a cool, like refreshing feel. And you know, finish it off with
some
some
rose
water.
petals.
Yeah, yeah. Or either you can use some witch hazel, you know.
Okay.
You know, so
Okay.
yeah, I would recommend, you know, that is like a skincare piece. And I think with the makeup stuff, you know, it's really up to each and every person. But this is the time where you have 1,001 questions for your favorite makeup artist. Like, how do I do this, girl? And how do I fix this eyebrow? Because my eye is one eye smaller than the other, or whatever the case may be. Like, this is the perfect time, because you got to understand too, your beauty professional is not, we're not in the trade, like we're not in the field right now. We're not conducting any services right now. So you have our undivided attention, you know, so send the request and say, hey girl, or, you know, guy, or whoever your beauty professional is, I need help on this, or I need help on that. And you can also help your beauty professional as well, because, you know, send them a love offering, or if they're charging, go ahead and send it to them, because you do have to understand that they're not making any money right now either. And so it will be helpful, but then you also get their undivided attention. So, you know, reach out to your professional and go through some of that stuff. Purge your makeup drawers, like cleanse all your makeup brushes right now. Like some of that makeup you probably don't even need, or either you got it years ago and never got rid of
it. And that is me. Yeah. I'm not even going to sit on here and tell a story, because I have some makeup that I don't know.
Stop. If that's your response, that's really bad.
I don't know. It's some in this little makeup box that's just been there. And it's just there.
You just looking at it.
I'm just looking at it, and it's looking at me, and I'm looking at it.
Well, this is what I challenge you to do. I challenge you to pick it up and try and find an expiration date on it. And if you can't find an expiration date on it, I would kind of look at exactly online. You can go online and just see, okay, how long does mascara last? How long does, and you know, if you know you've had it beyond that point, then I would just get rid of it and go ahead and, you know, get you some more stuff. But yeah, purge as much as you can and clean as much as you can, so that way when you come back out of quarantine, baby,
we'll be ready.
You'll be ready.
So I know you've been doing this for a while, and I know you're an educator, and then you have this as an entrepreneurial space for you as well. So how do I want to speak to you about how you get clients? And I know you have some celebrity clients, and you do celebrity large scale events for larger brands. So how did you transition into that space, and how is it working in that world?
It's funny because as an entrepreneur, is you know, it's hard as heck. You gotta figure it out and not watch other people figure out their careers, because, you know, initially when I started out as an entrepreneur, as well, really a makeup artist, I was doing it for different brands, like certain magazines, and I would do models and stuff like that. And I took a liking to that, opposed to being an esthetician, which I'm licensed for. And I just saw myself in a dark room rubbing on people's faces, and I was like, wait
a minute.
I was like, this is not me. Like, I went to school for it, but really I learned the fundamentals and basics and education on skin, which is very important if you're even going to touch the skin as it relates to makeup, what products you use on your client. Like, it's very important. So it provided me those fundamentals, but I was like, okay, let me try out doing these facials and these chemical peels and stuff. And it was not for me. And I just had to figure that out in due time. I was like, dang, Ty, you in these dark rooms, like you got the scene going and these candles and this music. And I'm a like social butterfly, like
Okay.
and I was like, okay, so this is for the birds. It made me a lot of money, but it
Mm-hmm.
was not me. So I just kind of leaned more toward the makeup world and the makeup side. And really, to be honest with you, I transitioned. I'm actually in the process of transitioning, not myself, but I feel that God is leading me into a transition of, okay, Ty, you've done, the celebrity clients, you've done the magazines and all these different things, but I find myself now more so educating and more so being on different platforms to speak to those that are trying to embark upon the beauty industry and also give back, which is another reason why I ended up starting my nonprofit organization, which is called the High Beauty Party.
Yes.
Yeah, which is that's near and dear to me to give back to those aspiring beauty professionals that don't have a license. I'm so sick of people getting like staph infections and eye infections and all this other crazy stuff that is causing a lot of people to get diseases just based on like everything that we're going through now, like the viruses and stuff. That's because of you're not utilizing sanitation procedures and protocols. So you get that kind of stuff. And due to like this day and age, social media, like people hire anybody based on what they see another person Instagram face looks like. So
yep.
It's that's very important. And I just try and give back and make sure the young people out there, whether you're young or old, it doesn't matter, or seasoned, whatever. If you don't have a license, I created the nonprofit, which is a tea party. And what it does is it provides scholarships to individuals that are aspiring beauty professionals to obtain their license. So it pays completely for their license to really be a beauty professional in the game.
Oh, I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because obviously, and I'm going to stand in my truth. So since we've been in quarantine, I was looking at nail people online and looking at other opportunities for going outside of the traditional nail salon where most of us go to. But I was seeing all of these younger girls. I'll say girls because some of the young ladies that I saw were in high school and everything, but they have huge Instagram pages full of nails and clients they have and things they've done. And for me, I was like, wow, because when I was 14, 15, 16, we weren't, people had a hustle or a side and they were doing something. Of course, there might have been somebody doing hair in the kitchen, but it wasn't like this. You have teenagers who are now truly building businesses. But on the flip side, to your point, I was like, okay, well, at 16, is she licensed? Does she have a license? And she's doing these nails at her house and she's not working in the salon. So it's interesting that and it's important, obviously, like you said, that you get to these people who maybe it's for money or maybe they just don't know that they need a license.
Yeah. It's funny because like,
what you want to say, Ty?
I'm trying to hold my mule, but I'm gonna have to let this mule go because, it's funny because everything is really, or a lot of things now are really superficial. And it is great to see a young person, like you said, like start up, a quote unquote, a little something. I can't call it a business, but start up, their peak. They have an interest in something, and so they're starting to build a following on that. But then it goes beyond that when you bring someone, it's not on your nail, or it's not on your hair, or it's not on your face. It only gets real when someone wants to sue, or if someone contracts a disease or virus or something like that, and or you lose your edges, or flesh-eating bacteria on your face that causes your skin to peel off, and and that's all true. It's real because in Florida you have to be licensed because there are a lot of I would say, unlicensed individuals that was practicing makeup, and there are a lot of cases of a flesh-eating skin disease. But anyways, it's it's like good on one end that they are exercising that talent and
Yes.
going into their interests, but on the other side of things, like you're saying, like, wait a minute, hold on, am I going to trust what this
Right.
person is doing? So instead of just talking about them, I just felt a need to provide something, because what's the point to talk about somebody and you don't know their story, or you
Right.
don't know what it could be that's preventing them from getting a license. So a lot of the times we just have to continue to have the mindset of, it's not about always getting a blessing, it's also about being that blessing. And
Yes.
with that being said, it's like, okay, if I see that young person, I'm not going to report them to the board. I will more so reach out to them and say, hey, I have a great opportunity in the organization for you to obtain your license. Are you interested?
Yes. That's
And then go from there, Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so so tell us about the tea parties. I know that you did a tea party for Trina Braxton, who just got married recently. And so, yeah. So I know I was about to ask you what made you interested in tea parties, but I answered my own question in my head because I'm like, she's a Southern Belle. Like, that's what Southern Belles do.
Yes. Yes. I
So
love it. Yeah.
yeah, so we don't have a lot of tea parties anymore, though, because I think for me, and I'm just speaking for me, my experience with tea parties has always been that it would be more of a British thing, or more of a, to use layman terms, a more hoity-toity type of situation to do a tea party.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it.
Look, it's like you got your nose up. We go into the tea party with our big hat on, but I
Right.
love that you are normalizing the tea party.
Yes, yes. I started it back, now it has been 6 years. I started it back in 2014 when I was living in Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always, even though I'm a tomboy, I've always loved like dainty things. I'm dainty myself, so I love
Mm-hmm.
everything small, petite, cute, and put together. So
Okay, small, petite, cute, and put together. All
together,
right.
yeah. I love that you capitalizing on all my little buzzwords. But yeah, so on the scheme of that, I was just like, I want a scholarship fundraiser to give back to the beauty professionals, but what is a creative way to do it? And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be, I didn't want it, I wanted it to say tie. I wanted it to, like, me give a piece of myself as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it be fun. And
Okay.
so tie is, I'm very, like, I've already said I'm petite, but I'm very, I consider myself, and I try and put my best foot forward always. And when
Mm-hmm.
you think about a tea party, you think about it being, like you said, kind of highly polished or
Mm-hmm.
posh, or
Yes.
very well put together. You don't come in there like, hey, yeah, yeah,
Right.
it's not like that, but at the same time, it is a beautiful, like,
Mm-hmm.
I call my events like poetry in motion. Like, I really try and make sure I set the ambiance, because I thought about it like this. I said, okay, if I were the perfect beauty professional, I would be very well put together. I
Mm-hmm.
would come very well prepared. I would be very professional. All the things that a real high tea party encompasses, and really is afternoon tea party. But I thought about our industry too, and I was like, man, it's a lot of beauty professionals out there that will go to a client's house late, chewing gum, like
Right. Yes.
smoking a hookah, or like, just unprepared and very unprofessional. And I was like, so if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna bring it, Ty, you need to bring it on a level that will kind of touch bases on social etiquette, touch bases on, the professionalism of how you come to a client's house, or how you present yourself. Because I will probably say almost 99% of my clients or the opportunities that I have received have all been based on referrals. Like I would be at one situation or opportunity and that person would reach out to me, and then it kind of would be a word of mouth, you know, pretty much from there. And they were huge opportunities, you know. So I thought about that and I said, I need to kind of merge the two. So that's how it came up. That's how I came up with High Beauty, and the High is H-I, and Beauty is spelled Beautea, and then party. So it's a tea party, but it's for beauty professionals, and we get together, and it's not stuffy at all. I also saw, like, you know, in I'd not even say industry, like back to your point, Adrian, like you said, you know, I've always thought tea parties to be, you know, like noses up and stuff
with
like
your
that.
pointy, your index finger out, you know, something, you know, pinky finger in the air, you know.
Right. And so I want to dispel that perception, because at the tea party that I have, first of all, it is a scholarship fundraiser, and I give 100% of the proceeds to provide scholarships to these beauty students. And so whenever we meet up, I usually there's a very nice jazz band and jazz singer, and you know, when we do sit down, we have etiquette. So we go over, and it's not just for tea, it's in general. So when you sit at a dinner table or wherever you are, you know, we don't think about, you know, etiquette and how we are, you know, which spoon goes with which the soup, or, you know, whatever. So you're learning at the same time.
Oh, so you educate them on that as well? So you tell them about the utensil placement and everything else like that as well?
Oh yeah, I have.
Oh, nice.
I have a professional that comes in, and she pretty much goes over etiquette and how you you know, sip tea, and how you pick up a pedophore or biscuit or whatever the case may be. It is like we have a really, really good time, and just learn about things that we really think about. But then when you learn it, you like, oh, I know better to slurp, or I know better to, you know, not hold my pinky up, to actually hold it down whenever you're drinking, you know, out of your cups. So, you know, it's stuff like that. You're like, oh, girl, I be all wrong at the So then, you know, it's all encompassing. I just felt like order was needed in the beauty industry, and a tea party does that.
Oh my gosh. And
Trina, she just loves the concept. So when I initially went on Sister Circle, Trina Braxton, she's of course a host, one of the hosts.
Yes.
And whenever I was there, I was promoting the High Beauty party there, and she told me that her and her sisters, Tawanda, like also Tony, like they love tea parties. And she said Tony Braxton was like a tea party fanatic. Like she gets out all her china, and and she, like, you know, really like does it up. So she was like, oh my gosh, Ty, I would love for you to do a tea party for my bridal shower. And I was like, well, Trina, you know, I'm doing this for my scholarship. And she was like, I know, I just love, you know, how you put everything together. And so the producers reached back out to me, and we were able to do it with Trina, you know, Tawanda, and also their mother was on too. And so we had a really good time. But yeah, you know, it's all about order and doing things appropriately. And so it's also very girly and cute, and, you know, we enjoy ourselves. It's really good. Tea is good for you too.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. That's a whole other conversation.
Yes. That's a whole other.
Yes, it is. And then it's so many. Oh, I mean, we could just do another episode on tea, because there's just so many teas that are out there. So many brands, so many different flavors. The tea.
Yes.
Antioxidants in it and different things. Like, it's just so much about tea. That's a whole different conversation.
It is. I have actually at the tea party, at the High Beauty party, I have a whole it's called a tea bar, and it's a custom tea bar where there's different tea leaves, and you can actually make your own tea sacks based on the benefits for your skin. And so yeah, it's a good time that you have, but we also learn about all of that stuff, and you get some cool takeaways too. So yeah, I love that. That's my baby, and as you can tell, I'm running off at the mouth about it. But
no, that's because it's unfortunate because I was going to ask you when is your next one, but everything is just so up in the air right now. It's hard to lock down dates for anything.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, whenever, any business, when you try and to lock in maybe like a later date, because typically I have it in October, but none of the businesses are open. None of the, places are open to try and lock down a date. And they're saying a lot of places aren't opening until next year. So at least for a bigger gathering, which my event is. So I'm being careful, and we're postponing it this year, of course, due to the crisis. And so be on the lookout for 2021. Absolutely.
This has been a phenomenal conversation, Ty. Thank you so much. Share with everyone how they can find out more information about you, about the High Beauty Party, and anything else that you want to share with those who are listening.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me. If you would like to continue to follow me and follow the mission that God has placed inside of my belly to develop for people out there and beauty professionals out there, you can check me out on my website at tycooper.com. It's TIE Cooper, COOPER.com. That's also all of my social media handles, Ty Cooper. And if you would like to participate and or donate and give back and follow the mission of the High Beauty Party, we have a website and a lot of amazing, cool pictures and videos out there at High Beauty. It's spelled HIBEAUTEA party.com.
Thank you so much, Ty. Everyone, this has been There's Food in the House. I look forward to connecting with all of you and for you to connect with Ty.
Bye, y'all.
So gotta take a different route. You don't need nothing fast. We got food at the house. I'm just saying though. We got food at the house. Yeah, we got food at the house. Yeah, we got food at the house. You don't need nothing fast. Gotta take a different route. Yeah, we lit. We ain't never gonna switch. We lit. We ain't never gonna switch. We lit. We ain't never gonna switch. If it's made for the real, it's forever gonna fit. We lit. We ain't never gonna switch.